1. Bouquet in the house of the writer. The month begins with something pleasant arriving. Expect good news, an invitation, a gift, appreciation, or an opportunity. The energy is welcoming and optimistic. 2. Letter in the house of the clover. A message, email, document, or conversation brings a small stroke of luck. Communication opens a door or creates a fortunate coincidence. 3. Lily in the house of the ship. There is peaceful movement forward. This can indicate a journey, progress, or expanding your horizons with patience and wisdom. Rather than rushing, things develop naturally over time. 4. Woman in the house of the house. You are centered in your own life. Your attention is on your personal foundation, home, security, and what makes you feel grounded. This card often shows being true to yourself. 5. House in the house of the tree. Stability grows stronger. Your home, health, or long-term foundation becomes more secure. This is a card of putting down deeper roots and building something lasting. 6. Sun in the house of the clouds. Clarity follows confusion. If something has been uncertain, the answers begin to appear. Optimism and confidence gradually replace doubt. 7. Moon in the house of the snake. Your intuition helps you navigate a complicated situation. This placement can also suggest emotional sensitivity around someone or something that is not entirely straightforward. Trust your instincts without letting emotions overwhelm you. 8. Fox in the house of the coffin. A demanding situation, stressful work pattern, or something requiring constant caution comes to an end or begins to transform. It can also indicate becoming more aware of what no longer serves you. 9. Ship in the house of the bouquet. A pleasant journey, exciting opportunity, or new adventure is on the horizon. It may not only be physical travel but also a positive step into new experiences. Overall story. The month opens with encouraging developments and fortunate communication. You remain focused on creating stability in your own life while patiently moving toward new opportunities. Some confusion clears away, and your intuition helps you handle any complexities that arise. An old pattern, particularly one involving work, stress, or constant vigilance, begins to end, making room for a positive new direction. The overall feeling is one of steady progress, increasing clarity, and opportunities that bring both security and optimism.
Let a little sunshine inside. Take a breath and look around. There is beauty to be found. Yesterday is drifting away.
10. Stork in the house of the scythe. A change comes suddenly or requires a decisive action. Something may shift quickly, bringing an opportunity to move in a new direction. Rather than resisting change, this placement encourages embracing it. 11. Mountain in the house of the whip. A challenge may feel repetitive or frustrating. Progress could require persistence, patience, and the willingness to work through delays instead of expecting immediate results. 12. Star in the house of the birds. Hope comes through conversations, interviews, networking, or exchanging information. This is an excellent placement for communication that inspires confidence or points you toward your goals. 13. Dog in the house of the child. A loyal friend or trusted connection brings fresh energy. It can also represent the beginning of a dependable partnership or support from someone sincere. 14. Fish in the house of the fox. Finances and work become an important focus. This card encourages paying close attention to practical matters, income, and professional decisions. It can also suggest earning money through skill and experience. 15. Ring in the house of the bear. A commitment connected with authority, responsibility, or career. This can represent a contract, agreement, employer, or a decision involving long-term stability. 16. Bear in the House of the Stars. Confidence grows. A powerful opportunity or influential person may help you move toward your aspirations. It also suggests believing in your own abilities rather than doubting them. 17. Snake in the House of the Stork. Change is not entirely straightforward. There may be complications, unexpected twists, or the need to adapt your plans. Flexibility becomes important. 18. Coffin in the House of the Dog. The ending of one loyal connection or one familiar chapter makes room for something new. Sometimes this indicates leaving behind a relationship, job, or routine that has served its purpose. Overall story. This section tells the story of a period where change is unavoidable. There may be delays or obstacles that test your patience, but conversations and new information help you stay focused on your long-term vision. Financial and career matters become central, leading to important commitments and decisions. Although the path is not completely smooth and requires flexibility, an old chapter comes to a natural close, creating space for a different future. As one week in general, I would summarize it like this. This week marks a turning point. Change begins to unfold, even if progress is slower than you'd like. Conversations, interviews, or important news renew your confidence and remind you why you're pursuing your goals. Practical concerns about work, finances, and commitments require thoughtful decisions, and not every step is straightforward. By the end of the week, you may recognize that something familiar has reached its natural conclusion, allowing you to move forward with greater clarity and a stronger sense of purpose. 19. Key in the House of the Tower. A solution comes through an institution, organization, or professional setting. It can also indicate gaining clarity through independence or making an important long-term decision. 20th Garden in the House of the Garden. This is one of the strongest placements possible for the garden. It emphasizes public events, networking, interviews, social interactions, and being visible. It suggests that being out in the world is beneficial this month. 21. Tower in the House of the Mountain. An institution or authority may seem difficult to access, or there could be delays involving a company, organization, or official process. Patience is needed. 22. Birds in the House of the Crossroads. Many conversations and discussions lead to choices. You may weigh different options, ask questions, and gather information before making a decision. 23. Anchor in the House of the Mice. Something that once felt secure may temporarily feel uncertain. This could be related to work or stability. The card encourages protecting your energy and avoiding unnecessary worry over what is slowly changing. 24. Heart in the House of the Heart. Another very strong placement. It emphasizes following what genuinely matters to you. Passion, joy, and sincerity become reliable guides for your decisions. 25. Tree in the House of the Ring. A long-term commitment grows stronger. This may represent building a lasting career, developing a meaningful relationship, or establishing a stable foundation over time. 26. Cross in the House of the Book. An important lesson or realization comes through learning, study, or discovering something previously unknown. Sometimes this placement suggests that understanding develops gradually rather than all at once. 27. Man in the House of the Letter. This shows you actively communicating, signing documents, completing applications, receiving emails, or exchanging important information. Written communication becomes significant. Overall story. This part of the grand tableau has a very outward-looking energy. It encourages stepping into the public sphere, communicating, networking, learning, and making thoughtful choices. While there may be delays with organizations or moments when security feels uncertain, your heart remains aligned with what truly matters. Through study, experience, and important conversations, you move toward a commitment that has long-term potential. As one story, this period opens the door to meaningful opportunities through communication and public connections. Although some institutions or processes may move more slowly than expected, Every conversation helps clarify your direction. You may question your sense of security for a time, yet your heart continues to point toward the path that feels most authentic. What you learn now becomes an important life lesson, and by the end of this phase, you are actively exchanging the information and making the commitments that shape your next chapter.
New page. One small step is all it takes to begin a different way. Life can be easy, life can be bright, dreams can come true.
28.
One day.
Clover in the House of the Man. Luck is on your side personally. Small opportunities appear when you take action. This is a reminder that even brief chances can have a meaningful impact if you recognize them. 29. Scythe in the House of the Woman. A decisive choice or sudden change affects you directly. It may involve cutting ties with something that no longer belongs in your life or making a firm commitment to a new direction. 30. Whip in the House of the Lily. There may be inner tension between wanting peace and having to deal with repeated challenges. This card encourages patience and maturity rather than reacting impulsively. 31. Clouds in the House of the Sun. Temporary uncertainty surrounds something that ultimately has positive potential. The clouds suggest confusion, but because they occupy the sun's house, the confusion is likely to clear rather than remain. 32. Rider in the House of the Moon. News arrives that has an emotional impact. This can also represent recognition, encouragement, or communication that renews your confidence. 33. Mice in the House of the Key. Small worries may make you question whether you've made the right choice. The advice here is not to let anxiety nibble away at your confidence. The solution still exists, even if stress temporarily hides it. 34. Crossroads in the House of the Fish. An important financial or career decision comes into focus. Different paths may offer different rewards, and you'll need to choose the one that aligns with your priorities. 35. Child in the House of the Anchor. A new beginning has the potential to become stable over time. It may feel unfamiliar at first, but it carries the promise of long-term security if nurtured. 36. Book in the House of the Cross. A meaningful lesson concludes the month. There is still something to learn, and this knowledge becomes part of your personal growth. Sometimes the book also indicates that not everything is revealed yet. Some answers will come later. Overall story of the final 9. The month ends with opportunities that require decisive action. There may be moments of doubt or temporary confusion, especially around important choices, but encouraging news helps restore your confidence. Financial and career decisions become central, leading you toward a completely new beginning. Although not every answer is available immediately, you finish the month having learned something valuable that prepares you for the next stage of your life. The entire grand tableau as one story. Looking across all 36 cards, there is a remarkably consistent narrative. A pleasant opportunity arrives and communication opens new doors. One chapter of your life naturally comes to an end while another begins. Career, finances, and commitments become the central theme of the month. Public events, interviews, networking, and communication play an important role. There are moments of uncertainty and overthinking, but they are followed by increasing clarity. A significant decision changes the direction of your path. The month closes not with an ending, but with a beginner's chapter, learning, adapting, and laying the foundation for long-term stability.